Episode 6, The First Meeting at the Heart Clearing. Scene 2, The Division of Hands and Heart.
The heart clearing did not empty all at once. Relief rarely leaves in a hurry. The animals drifted away in small, quiet clusters. Voices low, bodies lighter, attention already turning elsewhere. Whatever knot had tightened inside them had been loosened just enough to walk away without looking back. The line in the soil still marked where the conflict had been. No one questioned it now. They stepped around it instinctively, as one avoids a healed wound. Within minutes, the clearing felt larger than before, too open. Teddy noticed it first. Not as a feeling, but as a change in spatial pressure. The air no longer pressed inward with expectation. The rhythm had broken. That should have brought relief. It did not. Lucy exhaled slowly, rubbing her paws together as if washing something unseen from them. Thinksy let her light dim to its resting glow, the silver settling against her fur like breath returning after a held note. None of them spoke. Then footsteps approached. They were unhurried, measured, not trying to be quiet, and not demanding attention either. Arkhon emerged from the edge of the clearing alone, without the crowd. He seemed taller, not physically, but structurally. As if the space had reoriented itself to accommodate him now that others were gone. The forest did not recoil, it adjusted. He stopped a few steps away from the three, and bowed. Not a polite dip of the head, not the courteous inclination offered to equals. He bent deeply. So deeply that, for a fleeting moment, his gaze angled upward toward them from beneath his brow. The gesture lingered longer than comfort required. It named them. You are above me, I see it, I accept it. Lucy startled, her paws lifting reflexively before she caught herself. Thinksy blinked, unsure whether to laugh or glow brighter. Teddy did not move at all. When Arkhon straightened, his expression held something dangerously close to reverence. I have heard the legends, he said softly, but witnessing it, a pause? Perfectly placed, was inspiring. He did not say useful, he did not say effective. He spoke of the dance the way one spoke of a masterpiece. Something elevated, removed from dirt and necessity. Your movements, Arkhon continued, turning slightly, as though addressing each of them at once without isolating any single one. The way the clearing itself responds to you. It is not labor, it is culture. Thinksy's light flickered, startled into a brief, pleased shimmer. Lucy felt an unexpected easing in her chest. Culture meant choice. Beauty, something offered freely. Not demanded. Teddy frowned, not in disagreement, but in recalibration. Culture implied structure, preservation, curation. Arkhon watched these reactions without appearing to watch at all. You should not have to dirty your paws with roots and mud, he said gently. Not like this, not every day. His gaze lingered on Lucy for a heartbeat longer than the others. Care should not mean exhaustion. Lucy swallowed. And you, Arkhon went on, his voice warming as it turned toward Thinksy, are not a lantern to be lit on command. What you create deserves space to breathe, to inspire. Thinksy shifted her weight, a shy, please sound escaping her before she could stop it. Finally, Arkhon looked at Teddy. Efficiency, he said simply, is not your failure, it is your gift. Teddy met his eyes at last. The words landed cleanly. No flattery, no apology, recognition. You are symbols, Arkhon concluded, his tone steady, almost matter-of-fact now. The soul of this place. Asking you to manage every splinter and schedule is like asking the wind to carry bricks. He gestured lightly toward the emptying paths beyond the clearing. Let others handle the weight of maintenance, let you remain what you already are. For a moment, the forest was very still, the Dreamwilds listened. Not for danger, but for alignment. Lucy felt her guilt soften, reshaped into something almost like permission. Banksy basked in the warmth of being seen not as a solution, but as a source. Teddy felt the quiet, dangerous relief of hearing his instincts affirmed rather than resisted. Arkhon inclined his head again. Not as deeply this time. I would be honored, he said, to help carry what should never have been placed on you in the first place. The clearing did not answer, but somewhere beneath the soil, something settled into place, and the three, so long accustomed to being the hands that worked, stood, for the first time since the dance, uncertain whether they had just been elevated, or very carefully set apart.
Scene 1. A bow deeper than necessary.
Arkhon did not press the moment. That, too, was deliberate. He allowed the clearing to breathe again, to fill with the ordinary sounds of the Dreamwilds. The settling leaves, the distant calls, the soft percussion of life resuming its patterns. Only when the three had fully returned to themselves did he speak. What happened here, he said calmly, will happen again. Not a threat, an observation. The Dreamwilds are changing, more voices, more needs, more crossings of paths that were once separate. He gestured vaguely, as if indicating the whole of the forest rather than any single trail. Hope alone cannot manage that. Teddy shifted his stance. Arkhon turned slightly toward him, as though the movement had simply been the next logical step in a pre-existing equation. Let me take care of the dull parts, Arkhon offered. Logistics, borders, stores and schedules, the work of structure. A faint smile. Engineer's work. He paused just long enough for the word to settle. It would free you, he continued, addressing them all now, to do what only you can do, to remain visible, to keep the dance alive, to hold the center when the rest must move. The silence that followed was different from before, it was calculating. Teddy exhaled through his nose, eyes unfocusing slightly as patterns assembled themselves in his mind. For weeks, months, he had been sketching systems no one had time to implement, flow charts that balanced need against capacity, rotations that reduced burnout, contingencies for growth. I have drafts, he said at last, cautiously, nothing formal, just frameworks. Arkhon's response was immediate and unhesitating. Excellent, he said, then we will build them. Not I will consider them, not we will review, we will build them. Something in Teddy loosened, the promise of a system that would finally exist outside his head. Executed cleanly, consistently. Was intoxicating. Lucy watched him, relief and worry braided tightly together in her chest. Arkhon noticed. "And you," he said gently, turning toward her, lowering his voice without softening its clarity, "you carry too many refusals." Lucy's ears flattened instinctively. "Every boundary feels like a wound," Arkhon continued. "Every no costs you something. You absorb the disappointment so others don't have to." She did not deny it. "You shouldn't have to be the one who closes doors," he said. "Let me be that voice. Let me say no when it must be said." His tone was almost kind. "You can remain what you are meant to be, the good one, the safe one, untouched by hardness." Lucy felt the weight lift before she had time to question where it was going, and Thinksy was already imagining the clearing filled again, not with arguments, but with listeners, with light, with the dance unfolding without interruption, unburdened by lists and limits. Arkhon brought his hands together, fingers interlacing. Not in supplication this time, but in design. "Think of it as a partnership," he said. "You tend the soul of the Dreamwilds, I will tend the body." A subtle image formed as he spoke it, a high place, pale and quiet, where vision remained pure and untouched by mud, a place above the noise, above the bargaining and the breaking points, an ivory tower, beautiful and serene. From there, the world looked orderly, manageable. Below, paths could be redirected, resources reassigned, voices filtered. From above, none of that was visible. The three exchanged a glance. Brief, uncertain, but sincere. They were tired, and Arkhon was offering rest without asking for obedience. "Very well," Teddy said slowly. "Not agreement, not surrender, just the next step in a plan that made sense." Arkhon inclined his head once. In that small motion, authority changed hands. The forest did not protest, but somewhere, far beneath the roots of the heart clearing, something ancient marked the moment. Not as a fall, but as a choice. The dance would remain pure, and the ground beneath it would no longer belong to those who danced.
Scene 3. The silence that counts as yes.
Arkhon did not wait for an answer. That, too, was a choice. He turned slightly, not away from the three but outward, as if the conversation had already widened to include the clearing itself. The paths, the borders, the unseen edges of the Dreamwilds. "We will make this a safe haven," he said. Together, as he spoke, he extended one hand. Not toward them, but toward the land beyond. The gesture did not ask for a grasp, it claimed a horizon. The word together hung in the air, unchallenged. The three looked at one another. Thinksy's light wavered, then steadied into a small, uncertain glow. Her smile appeared almost by reflex. Polite, hopeful, unarmed. Lucy released a breath she had not realized she was holding. Relief softened her posture, easing the tension from her shoulders. Someone else would hold the line now. Someone else would absorb the resistance. Teddy gave a nod so slight it barely registered as movement at all. Not approval. Confirmation. The logic was already in motion. Systems, once begun, preferred continuity. No one spoke, no one said yes, no one said no. Arkhon watched them for a single, measuring heartbeat, then he smiled. Good, he said simply, we begin at once. He turned away, the decision already translated into action. His hand lifted again, this time in a sharper motion. Directional, precise. Figures emerged from the edges of the clearing. They had been there all along, half-remembered shapes in the periphery, quiet, attentive, waiting to be activated. Some bore the bearing of former courtiers, others the neutral posture of clerks and surveyors. New titles, old instincts. They moved when Arkhon gestured, not toward the three, but around them. Mapping, measuring, murmuring in low, efficient tones. The machinery had engaged. Arkhon did not look back. As he departed the heart clearing, the wind rose suddenly. Not in protest, not in rage, but in absence. It swept through the space he left behind, hollowing the air as though something essential had been drawn out with him. Leaves rustled without rhythm. The clearing felt larger again, emptier. The three remained where they were. They had not sworn an oath. They had not made a vow. They had not chosen a side. And yet, something irreversible had occurred. They stood now in a space between. Untouched, unburdened, and no longer directing the ground beneath their feet. The dance still belonged to them. Everything else was already moving without their hands. Far beyond the clearing, Arkhon's voice carried. Calm, organized, unmistakably certain. The Dreamwilds had a direction, and those who had remained neutral were no longer the ones deciding where the path would lead.